All right, Rob, speaking of old, this is just a natural and easy segue. You said it on a platter for me.
You know,
Tom Brady.
it's like you're a writer or something, right? Okay,
right. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, Rob, clinched the playoff berth yesterday. They beat the Panthers 30-24. Brady was, I got to give it to him. He hasn't had a great season, but he was great yesterday. 432 yards passing, 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 running on a QB sneak, no picks. And the Bucs are in, Rob. They will, I think they're going to get Dallas. That's who they get if it started today. And they have the home field advantage. So I want to ask you this. Do you think they are dangerous? They got the guy, those 2 words scare people, Tom Brady. Do you think they're dangerous in the playoffs?
I don't know. The Bucs, to me, even when I look at some of their wins this year and teams, where they played awful the 3.5 quarters and then beat a couple games. A lot of their games, that's how the recipe. There was just a lot of things that didn't look right. I know it worked. Everything worked yesterday, but I don't know. Can they outscore the Cow? Now the Cowboys, we know their history. But if you look at those 2 teams on paper, I don't care where the game is, I think Dallas should beat them.
Should.
That's all.
Should.
You heard me.
But we know, neither of us have faith. I'm going to say this.
You heard what I said. Should. I'm not saying
There's no doubt they should. And I don't know. We'll see if it happens who I'll pick. Right now, Rob, I got to be honest. I would be leaning Tampa. And I don't. Let me state this. I don't think Tampa can win the NFC.
Right.
I mean, obviously anything's possible, but no, I don't think they will win the NFC. But I do think they could beat Dallas largely because Dallas, Rob, I don't know.
It could be a meltdown. We've seen teams melt down to Tom Brady. Last year, Chris? I forget when the Rams won.
Well, they almost beat the Rams last year.
But do you remember the Rams? But they melted down. They fumbled the ball 4 times. I mean, like things like that happen. You give Brady the ball back, and then all of a sudden he's making a throw here or whatever, and then you're in trouble. If you remember, the Rams almost choked that game away.
We always talk about it. The dropped no, that was San Francisco.
Right.
The dropped interception.
Well, that was the Rams. Right.
But no, they I think obviously nobody wants to really write off Tom Brady. We've seen him do it too many times, but I'm writing him off. I don't, as far as winning the NFC. I mean, like I said, they could beat Dallas.
Might win a game or so, right? I got you.
But Rob, they got no run game, none. It's the worst in the league,
which is shocking.
And because Fournette has been good for them, but even yesterday against Carolina, they only rushed for 67 yards. And if you look at it, Rob, yesterday, you saw all their touchdowns. Brady's 3 touchdowns were essentially bombs. I mean, one was 30 yards, the last one. But the other 2 one was a 57-yarder to Mike Evans, one was a 63-yarder.
Right.
That's bad defense by Carolina. Evans is great. I think he'll be a Hall of Famer. And
you
Brady
can't give up that kind
Brady.
of yardage, Chris, on 3 touchdowns.
No, that's bad defense.
Right.
And they're not going to face that type of poor defense in the playoffs. And, Rob, they are bad in the red zone. They got the worst percentage of scoring touchdowns. Yep. Even yesterday, they scored 1 touchdown in 3 trips to the red zone. And that's the bomb saved them. It was the big plays, but they couldn't do the meat and potato stuff of pushing it in once they got into the red zone. And so like I said, for those reasons, Rob, I don't think they can win the NFC. Now, of course, we've said it, this conference is more open than anything in recent memory, Rob. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be shocked if they do, but I'm writing them off. I'm saying no. And, I like Tom Brady.
I know, but you're being realistic about how they look, the stuff that's happened this year. You just talked about it, the red zone, the struggle every week, Chris. It's a struggle. Every game is a struggle.
Against bad teams.
And we've seen it. and you just automatically think, well, they'll just go. Now, when you start to look at like the games that they won and what happened and how they had 3 field goals going into the final 8 minutes, and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden the other team turns the ball over, then you score a touchdown, and then you kick a field goal, and then it looks good. They won by 16
and
points.
And it's a dramatic comeback. And
yes.
all that. Right. But why'd you have to come back against the Saints?
Against some bad team. But that's where the Bucs are. Right.
Yeah. So, I'm with you on that. I tell you what yesterday did make me think, though, Rob. If I'm the Raiders, I'm going after Tom Brady. That's who I want next year, if I'm them. Because I think he's at a level of his play or his career where he needs tons around him, Rob. He's not going to. I've said that his last year in New England, that he needed, could no longer just lift guys.
He can't do it himself, right.
Right. And I don't think Tampa's going to, barring, if they make a run that neither of us foresee, that's one thing. But I don't think they have enough for him. And I think the Raiders with Devontae Adams, Rob, they got the run game with Josh Jacobs. Obviously, he's got a history with Josh McDaniels. I think that if I'm the Raiders, and here's the other thing, Rob, and I know Jarrett Stidham was pretty good yesterday, but obviously he's not your quarterback of the future. To me, and Devontae Adams was professional. He played great yesterday. But, Rob, you heard Devontae Adams when Derek Carr
I'd be sick, Chris. I would be sick. I don't care. Because there's no guarantee who you're going to get. Imagine if they have to
get a rookie,
And this guy's going to be like, yo, I just rolled the dice on my a Hall of Fame career.
Right.
Like I rolled the dice thinking I was going to go with this dude who's going to be there. They just signed him to a new contract, and now he's out the door. Devontae had every right to be like.
Totally. And that's why I give him credit yesterday. I mean, look, it's their job to go out and play.
He's going to play, right.
But
he was drop the ball or whatever.
He did a great job. And, Rob, don't you think, though, that you got to get a quarterback, if Devontae's in your future plans, that he's going to be like, okay. Like, you bring in Tom Brady, and Adams is going to be like, he's not going to complain about that, right? And so I think that's the guy if I'm them. And, Rob, if I'm the Jets, I'm going after Derek Carr. Maybe even the Giants, too.
I agree, both of them.
Try to trade for him.
Because the Jets, and this is what, and I don't want to get sidetracked, but this is what I was saying, Chris. What they did is twofold because, Zach is done there, right? So it wasn't.
I mean, he's probably going to be on the roster.
But it wasn't just like you're making a change here. When they did that, they put a lot in the pot for Mike White, and he didn't deliver for you. No touchdowns in the last 3 starts.
But don't you think they knew? I mean, I don't want to say knew, but I don't think they went to Mike White thinking, okay, this is our quarterback of the future.
No,
I think they were just like, look, he's playing better. We got a great defense. We got a chance to win now. Let's go with him right now.
Yeah, but the thing is, and here's where I just real quick, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about tomorrow. Zach has the bad game against the Patriots, right?
Right.
Chris, the Patriots have beaten him 15 times in a row. I'm not making an excuse. He played poorly. He was terrible. Right. But then you don't dress him, right, for the next game. And then you give Mike White the game to play against the Bears, a bad defense, right? He throws 3 touchdowns. He looks like that guy. That's the game that they should have given to Zach, not to Mike White. Okay, I'm just saying. And then the next 3 games,
wouldn't you admit White, as bad as he was yesterday? Don't you think he's been better than Zach?
I saw him last year. You know me. I haven't.
Well,
been
it was only the one bad. And again, I'm not saying he's your guy.
But
I'm just saying he had the one bad game last year where he threw the 4 picks. Yeah, it wasn't like he was.
These last 3 games here told me this guy's not a starter. He's just
no. I would agree with that. Like if he's your starter, you're looking for a quarterback.
Exactly.
I agree with you on that.
We'll talk about the Jets.
But I just
tomorrow.
think, they got to get a quarterback, and I'll be going after Derek.
No, I don't blame him. Derek Carr will be sought after.
Great. They got a lot. Yeah, the two New York teams should be looking at him. All right.